Okay, fifth graders, so for your homework tonight, you're going to be looking for least common denominators again. We're going to ignore that whole number at the moment, and we're going to be looking for a common denominator. I'm thinking that 12 would be a good one here, because 4 times 3 will equal 12, and 3 times 3 is 9. And now I can add 9 twelfths plus 1 twelfth. I can just carry this over, or I can just remember it's over there. 9 plus 1 is 10, and I get 10 twelfths. Now I'm ready to add my whole number. 5 plus 3 is 8, and as I'm looking at this, I think I can reduce it. I can divide both of them by 2, and I can instead come up with 8 and 5, 6. That would be a better answer. Again, we're looking for a common denominator between 5 and 15. Multiply it by 3 over 3. Some of you are probably getting so good at this, you're doing it mentally. 9 fifteenths. 9 plus 4 is 13. So we've got 13 fifteenths. 13 is prime. You won't be able to reduce that number. Add our whole number. 9 plus 6, and we get 15 and 13 fifteenths. Next, we're looking for a common denominator between 9 and 3. 9 would be a good common denominator. Multiply it by 3 over 3. Again, you can skip this step if you want to, where we're multiplying by, this is essentially 1. Remember that whole identity property thing. 3 times 3 is 9. 1 times 3 is 3. And then we add our numerators. 4 plus 3 is 7. We get 7 ninths. 7 is prime, so we don't need to reduce. Add our whole numbers. 4 plus 4 is 8. So we've got 8 and 7 ninths. Common denominator here would be 10. So we can multiply them both by 2 over 2. And we get 4 tenths. Let's add our numerators. 3 plus 4 is 7. 7 over 10. And then we can add, oh, and 7's prime. We can't reduce. Add our whole numbers. 6 plus 1 is 7. So we get 7 and 7 tenths for an answer on that one. Next, we're going to be looking for a common denominator between 3 and 7. I'm going to start thinking of multiples of 7. I'm going to start with my larger denominator. 7 times 1 is 7, doesn't work. 7 times 2 is 14, doesn't work. 7 times 3 is 21. Yep, that will work for both of them. So let's multiply by 3 over 3. This dot can mean multiplication too, so I'm going to use it here. 3 times 3 is 9. 7 times 3 is 21, so I get 9 21, 9 21sts. Let's multiply this by 7 over 7. We have to change both today. 7 over 21. Now we've got our common denominator. We can add them up. 9 plus 7, 16 over 21. 21 is prime. We won't be able to reduce that one, but now we can add our whole number. 8 plus 4 is 12. So we'll get 12 and 16 over 21, or 16 21sts. Common denominator here, we can go with 12, multiply by 2 over 2, and we get 10 twelfths. Add our numerator. 10 plus 1 is 11. 11 twelfths. Add our whole number. 1 plus nothing is going to be 1, so we get 1 and 11 twelfths on that one. Just so that we can kind of keep in order here. Oh, we've already got our common denominator. All we have to do is add our numerators. 3 plus 3 is 6. We get 6 eighths. Let's reduce it. 6 eighths is the same as, let's divide them both by 2. 3 fourths. Add our whole number. 4 plus nothing is 4, so we get an answer of 4 and 3/4 for that one. And on this one, again, looking for a common denominator. Let's take our larger number and see if we can find a common denominator for it. 8 times 1 is 8, won't work. 8 times 2 is 16. 3 times 8 is 24. 4 times 8 is 32. And 8 times 5 is 40. We're going to have to go all the way up to 5. And we'll get a common denominator of 40 and 5. This will multiply by 8 over 8. And we'll get 40, and our numerator will be 24. Add those together, and 24 plus 5 is going to be 29 over 40. Can't reduce that one because of the 29 there, but we can add up 7 and 5 and get 12. So our answer is 12 and 29/40. Looking for a common denominator here. I can multiply, if I take my larger denominator of 16, I can look and say 2 times 8 will equal 16. So I don't have to change that one. So this becomes 16 and 8 sixteenths. 8 plus 3 at our numerators, and we get 11 sixteenths here. And add our whole numbers. 6 plus 4 is 10, so we get 10 and 11 sixteenths. 11's prime, we can't reduce, so we just leave it as is. Take your larger denominator. Think of all the multiples for that largest denominator. Oh, come on. Screensaver is bugging me again. Alright, we can multiply this by 2 over 2 to equal 6, and we get 2 6. 1 plus 2 is 3, common denominator of 6. Now we can add our whole number. Oh, let's reduce first. Divide them both by 3, and you get 1/2. Add our whole number. 7 plus 2 is 9, so we get 9 1/2 for a total. On that one, our next one, oh boy, between 11 and 2, we're going to have to multiply all the way up to 22. So let's multiply this by 2 over 2, and we get 10 over 22. And this one we're going to multiply by 11 over 11, and we'll get 11 over 22. Add your numerators. 11 plus 10, 21 over 22. And now you can add a 21 over 22. I don't know if we have anything in common there, so we're going to just add our whole number. 3 plus 3 is 6, and we'll leave it as that for a fraction. This one, multiply it by 2 over 2 to get a common denominator of 18. 1 times 2 is 2. Add our numerators. 2 plus 3 is 5. Denominator stays the same, 18. Add your whole number. 5 plus nothing is 5, so we get 5 and 5/18 on that one. And I can't think of a way to reduce that one. There's nothing in common on that one, so we leave it as 5 and 5/18. Our last row. This one's already got a common denominator of 8. Add your numerator. 3 plus 1 is 4. 4/8 is the same as 1/2. Now we can add our whole number. 8 plus nothing is 8, so our final answer is 8 and 1/2. Common denominator here of 24, we can multiply it by 2 over 2, and we get 10 24ths. Add your numerator. 10 plus 7 is 17. Common denominator of 24, and now add our whole numbers. 17 is prime. We won't be able to reduce, so leave it at 10 and 17 24ths. Common denominator here of 10, so multiply by 2 over 2. And you get 2 tenths. Add your numerators. 7 plus 2, 9. And denominator stays the same as 10. Can't be reduced. We leave it as 9 tenths. We know it can't be reduced because it can't divide them by the same number. Remember, if you're dividing by the same numerator and denominator, just like when we multiply, you're actually dividing or multiplying by 1, which with that identity property means it doesn't really change. It just changes how many pieces you cut it into. This one cannot be reduced. I can't divide it by anything. I can divide this by 3, but I can't divide that by 3. I can divide this by 2, but not this. I can divide this by 9, but not this. So we just have to leave it as 9 tenths. Add our numerator, our whole numbers. 9 plus 3 will equal 12, and we get 12 and 9 tenths for our last, or for that answer. And now our last one. Common denominator, we're going to have to switch both of these. We're going to get them over 20. 4 times 5 is 20, so by 4 over 4, and we'll get 12 20ths here. This one will multiply by 5 over 5, and we'll get 5 20ths. 12 plus 5 will be 17 over 20. Add our whole number. 6 plus 7, 13. So we get 13 and 17 20ths. Thanks for working with me today.